and welcome. I'm Sandra Peart, the Dean of the Jepson School of Leadership Studies, and on behalf of the faculty and staff at the school, I want to say congratulations to all of our soon-to-be graduates, and welcome to all of our friends, parents, siblings, cousins, aunts, and uncles. Today is, for me, and I think for many of the faculty at the Jepson School and the staff at the school, our favorite day. Tomorrow is also, of course, important, but we love finale because this is the day of the Jepson School. It's the day at which we get to thank and recognize many of you. Parents, siblings, and other relatives, please know that we appreciate all that you've done to help your soon-to-be graduate a success at the Jepson School. Jepson students, and I'm going to call you that for yet one more day, congratulations. You are a remarkable group. The graduating class this year is comprised of 51 majors and 13 minors. You make up 9% of the University of Richmond graduates, and yet Jepson graduates comprise 16% of the university's Phi Beta Kappa recipients, 26% of those elected to mortar board, 22% of those admitted to Omicron Delta Kappa. So you're quite a strong group. We're not, of course, surprised by that. About a quarter of you have done a double major, completed the requirements for 2 majors, not just one. One of you has completed the requirements for actually 2 degrees. That's really something. Close to 2/3 of you have studied abroad. You've served on the Honor Council, you worked as RAs, you were part of student orientation, you've done tour guides or been tour guides. 15 of you hold leadership positions in Greek organizations. 8 of you are on government associations outside of the Jepson School, including the president of West Hampton College Student Government Association. You've got job offers from the organizations with which you interned. You're heading to Deloitte, to JP Morgan, to McKinsey, Teach for America, to the US Navy, or to graduate programs at Oxford, Wake Forest, UVA, University of Richmond. You're now joining more than 900 alumni from the Jepson School who live in many states and across the world, and who work in diverse areas such as healthcare, entertainment, the US government, nonprofits, state and local governments, and law and business. Please know that, like them, you're welcome to come back to the Jepson School at any time. And now what we'd like to do, and this is the first for finale, every year it's a little bit different, we'd like to show you a video. Many of you who attended the senior banquet will remember that we asked all of you if you'd like to, and many of you agreed to speak in front of a camera. We asked you a few questions about your experience at the Jepson School, and you answered those questions. And so we put together a video that we think reflects your experiences for the last 2.5 years as you've been at the Jepson School. So enjoy.
Jepson was just a really unique experience that went a lot across a lot of disciplines. And actually, when I was picking Richmond, I met with Dr. Hicks before I enrolled with you, so that was definitely a factor in my decision.
I was really drawn to the leadership school when I was looking at colleges. I think that Jepson is so unique to the University of Richmond, and I thought it would really help me later in life. Similar to Anna, I was just attracted to Jepson from the start, but I think I chose to stay in Jepson because of Dr. Wren's foundation class and just the really great people I met in the class, and also I continued to have a really close relationship.
I thought Jepson really just provided the best opportunities for world domination.
A lot of people asked us what that meant, and we kind of had to explain what leadership was.
I get a lot, so you're learning how to lead people?
What's leadership? Is that what you guys do with that?
What's that? What is that? Yeah. What are you studying? Are you going to be president?
My favorite memory of Jepson is probably actually volunteering with Anna over here. We volunteered at Chat, and just being able to experience life outside of the University of Richmond for the first time was really eye-opening and also a great experience.
My favorite Jepson moment would probably be being on Jepson student government and the fun that we had this year and the sense of community in Jepson.
I would say my favorite Jepson moment was before I was even actually enrolled at the University of Richmond, and I met with Dr. Kaufman, and he kind of convinced me to come to the University of Richmond. That was my most special moment.
I did the Jepson program in Cambridge, and I loved it. It was a great experience. It definitely solidified my interest in law, pursuing law.
I really enjoyed going downtown and volunteering at the local high school.
Just being so close with the professors here on campus. We both took classes together all 4 years, and just being able to take teachers over and over again and just having such a close relationship with them.
Yeah, and especially we both had Professor Wren freshman year, and then we had him again senior year, and he always invites the classes to his house at the end of the semester. So senior year was fun to go back to his house after 3 years of not being there and just kind of reminisce on the past 4 years of being at Richmond.
Field trip to Gettysburg National Park with my Civil War leadership class.
Studies class had a great
I think seeing all like the Jepson, the speaker series that we had, that was also a great outside of class activity.
Being able to do research has been my favorite part of Jepson.
I think probably my 101 class. They just like threw us in there, and we started right away with interactive learning, group learning, and it just created a really unique bond in the class, and it was really fun.
I loved it all. I love being here right now, having a good, nice little end of the year celebration with some of my favorite people that I've met during this experience.
I've studied abroad in India, and we're actually both finishing up our senior honors theses right now, and I'm working with Dr. Hicks.
Yeah, I've been working with Dr. Desai. It's been a long ride, and I also got to do study abroad in Denmark, and I've been working in the office with all the wonderful people at Jepson.
Research, community service, Jepson Corps.
Community service at local high schools.
I think the Justice and Civil Society class, the community service component of that class is really awesome. Kid and I one day I had people running numbers and little kids running around, so it was a blast.
And I did research with Jepson.
I've done research with Dr. White since sophomore year, and I now volunteer at A Fair World, a small nonprofit in Richmond, which came out of my Jepson internship.
I think my favorite class was a leadership and economics class I took with Team here.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, so good.
I think mine was Justice and Civil Society with Williamson.
My favorite was probably most people's least favorite, critical thinking.
Ethics with Chilla. I second that.
She's my favorite professor. Yeah, just by far.
Mine's been Moral Limits of the Criminal Law with Dr. Price.
I loved Professor McDowell's folk music and protest thought class.
My favorite class was probably Dr. Forsyth's group dynamics.
Dr. Forsyth's group dynamics class where it's at.
I love leadership in a diverse society. I'm currently in presidential leadership with Professor Vocals, and it's becoming one of my favorites.
I would say Dr. Vogel's presidential leadership class is my favorite right now. I really enjoyed it.
I really like leadership on stage and screen with Dr. Bezio. It was really interesting class, combining a lot of like movies and leadership. It was really interesting.
taking leadership in higher education, which is giving me a really unique perspective to how higher education works, what the role of the presidency is. And it was really interesting to just see how that plays out. It was a really cool class.
I would probably say ethics with Dr. Tour, for sure.
I would say creation of the American Republic with Dr. Wren.
Ethics. Critical thinking.
I mean, I think everything we've learned in all of our leadership classes can be applied to really anything that we encounter in life. We've learned a lot of, skills that leaders have used in the past and have been successful that we can, use in the future as well.
I feel like one of the greatest things that I've learned at Jepson is how to work under different styles, working in a group, working by yourself, working under the leadership of a professor or mentor, and that I'll definitely use that in my career.
I just think that I've gotten so many great skills out of it, whether it be critical thinking skills, analytical skills, or research skills. I think that I'll use in any job that I end up in.
I'm going to work on a ranch in Miami.
I've accepted a 13-month internship in Copenhagen, Denmark.
Still undecided. I'm going to law school.
I'm doing a master's program in Holland next year.
Actually, I have permission to begin talking to recruiters in the United States Navy.
I have a job at Deloitte Consulting, so I'm doing federal consulting as well. I closely into leadership.
I'm doing the Macy's Executive Development Program.
Graduate school.
Not yet. I'm job hunting. No, I'm actually sticking around only at Richmond Law School, so I'm not going too far.
I think how close all of the students are. It's a really small group of kids, so you get to know everyone in all your classes, and you always walk in and have a new face to see and sit next to you.
For me, it's definitely the faculty.
The class size and stuff.
The community feel at Jepson, I'll definitely miss a lot.
I guess just the feeling of the tight-knit community, knowing everyone, really knowing the faculty, that's something I really miss moving on.
What I miss about the Jepson School is the way that there's a cutting-edge feel to the place, that students and faculty know this is something really special. It's a small place where faculty and students interact so much, and there's a chance to do new and interesting things.
Just one word of clarification. I hope you enjoyed that. That student at the end of the video was Dr. Hicks, and Doug Hicks will be leaving us to become provost at Colgate University. So we're very pleased that he is becoming a provost, but of course we will also miss him. Dr. Soderlin is now going to continue the program, recognizing some of our students.
Actually, before I recognize this next group of students, I do want to say that all of you sitting out in the audience know that we dragged you back and tried to make all of you talk with that camera. And some of you just chose not to be movie stars. So now you know you have not been immortalized. We're sorry that we didn't have you all there. It's not like you to get so shy. Well, I'd really like to take a few moments to just acknowledge a group of students who have contributed to the school, certainly the entire time that they've been there, but in the last year in a variety of different leadership capacities. So what I'd like to do is invite them all up on stage at once. These are students who have participated in either our Jepson Student Government Association during their time here, or the Jepson we have a Jepson Alumni Corps, our Jepson Corps group, and that group is an emissary group. They have helped us do countless admissions programs. They helped us do many, many faculty interviews this year, and so we want to acknowledge all the time that they have given to us in this past year. So I'd like to invite to the stage Omari Bailey, Jesse Elphick, Connor Flanagan, Lucas Hackenberg, Lauren Harrison, Katie Nunziata, Chelsea Schrader, Colin Sweeney, Anna Von Hale, Chelsea Weinberg, and Thomas Wilt. Now, Jepson students know that one of the most coveted things on campus is Jepson swag. You get a t-shirt when you are inducted into the school, but then Jepson gear is hard to come by. So what we'd like to make certain to do is send this group of student leaders who've been so helpful out into the world with Jepson School of Leadership baseball caps so they can go out and sport their brand. Again, if we could thank this group for their countless hours. Thanks to all of you. Please go out and continue to spread the word. And our next presenter will be Dr. Terry Price, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs.
Good afternoon. I have the pleasure of recognizing just some of the many academic contributions of the graduating class 2012. I want to begin with the newest members of the Leadership Studies Honor Society. These students are in the top 10% of the Jepson graduating class. So when I call your name, please come forward. Gill Fogliano. Lucas Hackenberg. Kate Heyer. Josie Sonoga. Kelsey Sherman. Bridget Weedy. And finally, Alex Wiles. A big hand for all of you. we have several students who completed concentration in leadership studies. And again, please, when I call your name, come forward. Jane Bowles did a concentration in law and leadership. She wrote a thesis called James Madison, a Pragmatic Politician, under the direction of Gary McDowell. Rebecca McAdams did a concentration in healthcare ethics and wrote a thesis called The Ethics of Childhood Obesity, and I was her advisor. I'm not sure. Okay. Another one, it worked out well again. Another, I think Liz Nayland may not be here either, but I want to recognize her. She did a concentration in law and leadership, also working with Gary McDowell, and wrote a thesis called Access to DNA Testing for Post-Conviction Claims of Innocence. Victoria Roebuck, concentration in organizational leadership. She wrote a thesis called Evaluating the Change of Social Mission in Nonprofit Organizations, and she worked with Dr. Hickman. I also want to recognize Lindsay Udkoff. I think she was not here either. Concentration in social justice. She worked with Dr. Chula, and her thesis was on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the failings of leadership. Another round of applause for this group, please. And finally, we have several students earning honors in leadership studies. Rachel Errett, she worked with Dr. Bazayo. She heard honors thesis called Translating the Dominican Experience, Authorial Leadership, and How the Narratives of Julia Alvarez and Juno Diaz Imagine Community. Kate Heyer wrote a thesis called Think Like a Chameleon and Embrace Change, Effective Innovation Management, and she worked with Dr. Crystal Hoyt. Natasha Levanti wrote a thesis called The Relationship Between Danish Parliamentarians and Danish Citizens Concerning Equality from a Danish Leadership Perspective. She worked with Dr. Joan Chula. Caitlin Manick wrote an honors thesis called Framing the College Debate, Insights on Obama's Rhetoric Through the Capabilities Approach. She also did a concentration in social justice, and she was advised by Dr. Doug Hicks. Colleen Schultz, her thesis was entitled Expert Legal Testimony, Sex, Power, and Complexity. She worked with Dr. Alcothos. Bridget Weedy, her honors thesis was entitled Garvey Revisited, the Legitimacy and Consistency of Marcus Garvey as Demonstrated by His Latter Movement, advised by Dr. Tom Wren. And last one, Alex Wiles. She wrote a thesis called The Role of Collaborative Leadership in the Development of Performing Arts Facilities. She was advised by Dr. Gill Hickman. Can we have just one more round of applause? seated here.
I need to move the box back. I'm always impressed by the titles of the theses that our students write because they show what variety of interests and expertise we have among our faculty and of course also among our students. So that's really quite interesting just to hear the titles and think about the projects. It's now my pleasure to award the Frederick M. Jablin Award for Undergraduate Research. This award is given in honor of Leadership Studies Professor Fred Jablin, who is much beloved at the University of Richmond. The recipient receives a financial award prior to his or her senior year to assist with the research that he or she will do. The Jablin Award this year is given to Natasha Levanti for her research that led to her honors thesis, the relationship between Danish parliamentarians and Danish citizens concerning equality from a Danish leadership perspective. Natasha, would you like to come forward? During the course of her study abroad in Denmark, Natasha learned a new language, conducted research on international leadership and equality, interviewed members of the Danish Parliament, and planned her future. After spending her senior year on campus working with her thesis advisor, Dr. Chula, to fine-tune the questions, Natasha went back to the country during winter break to conduct more interviews. Please join me in congratulating Natasha. It's my pleasure to announce the James McGregor Burns Award. The James McGregor Burns Award, established in 1994 by Mr. and Mrs. Robert S. Jepson, Jr., is presented to a graduating senior in recognition of accomplishments as a student in the Jepson School of Leadership Studies. The winner of this award has demonstrated an outstanding grasp of the body of knowledge associated with leadership studies, excelled in his or her studies at the university generally, been actively involved in service to the school, the university, and the community, shown an ability to generalize and apply leadership theory and research in unique and imaginative ways, and displayed the capacity both to lead others and to help others lead themselves. This year's James McGregor Burns Award goes to Bridget Weedy. Bridget is a leadership studies major with a minor in history. As you know, this year Bridget completed a very fine thesis under the supervision of Dr. Wren. What you may not realize is that Bridget spent her junior year at Oxford. After graduation, she plans to return to Oxford, where she will obtain her master's degree in U.S. history. Go figure, she's going to Oxford to study. She intends eventually to obtain a PhD and to enter the academy. And I will say that's a very fine dream to have. Please join me in congratulating Jepson School senior British Weedy. And now the president of the Jepson School Student Government Association, Chelsea Schrader, will come forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chelsea Schrader, and I was the 2011-2012 Jepson Student Government President. I'm honored to join you here today to celebrate the accomplishments of our graduating seniors, as well as reflect on our experiences as Jepson majors and minors. As I look back at my Jepson experience, one word in particular sticks out to me: opportunity. Both as a member of the Jepson Student Government Association and as a leadership major in general, I have had so many opportunities to develop as a student and as a person that I truly believe I would not have had the chance to experience had I chosen a different path. My original plan when I came to the University of Richmond was to major in math and business. I followed through with my plans somewhat and got a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics. However, I immediately fell in love with the idea of the Jepson School and knew that my plan needed a little bit of editing. I decided to take a leadership class my freshman year to check out what leadership studies was all about because it was an opportunity very unique to the University of Richmond. After taking an introductory course, I signed up for Justice and Civil Society in the fall of my sophomore year, taught by Dr. Williamson. Now, Dr. Williamson may not know this, but he is the reason that I decided to become a leadership studies major. He was the first of many professors in Jepson that I had that has truly inspired me in so many ways to pursue my own interests and to make a difference in the community and other people's lives. After applying and being accepted into the leadership school, I have only become more and more impressed with the other faculty members and students that I have had the opportunity to meet, work with, and learn from. Jepson's environment is one of open doors, personal attention, trust, and respect. I've had the opportunity to take classes with almost every student in the Jepson School and learn from each student's unique perspectives and experiences. Through Jepson, we've had the opportunity to work in groups, learn through interaction and one-on-one mentoring and researching opportunities with faculty members, while still having the opportunity to study abroad and branch out to other majors and minors outside of Jepson. We've all made personal connections with professors that we will carry with us well past graduation. I was able to find a mom away from home in JSG's advisor, Dr. Soderlund, and I know that we will continue to have a close relationship far into the future. I can't imagine having gone through Jepson, or college for that matter, without having her there to guide me and give me advice when I couldn't turn to my real parents for Richmond-related issues. After graduation, we will soon leave the Richmond bubble and enter the real world, where we will no doubt face many leadership challenges in the world and in the careers that we pursue. However, I am confident that as a result of our Jepson education and all of the opportunities provided for us through our own individual Jepson experiences, we will be well prepared to put what we've learned here to good use. In closing, I want to leave you with a quote from one of my favorite American authors, Jack Kerouac, from his book, On the Road, that I believe applies to us as we graduate and take the next step in our lives. There is nowhere to go but everywhere, so just keep on rolling under the stars. Thank you to all of the faculty, staff, fellow students, and of course, parents and family members that have made my experience within the Jepson School and the University of Richmond such an amazing and memorable adventure. Congratulations, class of 2012. I can't wait to see what's in store for us next. Now we'll hear from our first keynote speaker. Dr. Hickman has been with the Jepson School since its founding and will be retiring this year. Her vision and patience has helped shape Jepson into the impressive institution that it is today, rising it to national recognition, and she will be greatly missed. It is my honor to introduce to you Dr. Gill Hickman.
Chelsea. First, I want to add my congratulations to the class of 2012. Can we give them a huge hand? As you prepare to leave the Jepson School and the University of Richmond tomorrow, I would like to take you back to one of your earliest discussions in the Leadership Studies program. In one of your first classes, you discussed various definitions of leadership and what these definitions had in common. You were probably told that even though there were many definitions, most of them have certain things in common. What Dr. Chula calls a family resemblance, and you'll remember these. These definitions usually describe leadership as a process, not a single person or position. This process involves interaction between leaders and followers, not just the will of the leaders. It involves an influence relationship between leaders and followers. And this process is directed toward a common purpose or goal. As you moved through your coursework, you studied theories and concepts about the leader. You learned about followership, and you learned about theories of power and influence, and you studied ethics. The aspect of leadership that I want to emphasize today is the common purpose. For those of you who took my Theories and Models course, and that was many of you, you know that one of my areas of research is the effect of the common purpose on leadership. The common purpose typically serves as the motivator of leadership, the reason people come together to lead. It answers the question, leadership for what? As you begin to prepare for and embark upon your careers, please think about purpose. What is the purpose of the business or nonprofit organizations that I will be joining? Should be one of your questions. Can I be proud of the products, services, and ethical behavior of the organization? How do they live their purpose every day through their culture, through their relationships, and through their decisions? How do they treat each other and the people they impact externally? A motivating and uplifting purpose is what drew me to the Jepson School. I first heard of the Jepson School through a job announcement in the Chronicle of Higher Education for the first dean of the Jepson School. Though I was not interested in the position of dean, what immediately caught my attention was the purpose of the school. And it read, "The Jepson School develops people who understand the moral responsibilities of leadership and are prepared to exercise leadership in service to society." I remember saying aloud, if I could work anywhere in the world, it would be there. At the time, I was living in Southern California and never expected to move to Richmond, Virginia. As fate would have it, my husband's job brought us to Richmond. When I saw the ad for faculty positions at the new, first of its kind Jepson School, I could hardly wait to apply. The Jepson School's purpose fully matched my own. It was a purpose I wanted to live every day. And I think I can say the same for my colleagues. They live the purpose daily. So to the members of the class of 2012, as you prepare for the next chapter of your life, begin with purpose. I'm not unrealistic. I know sometimes you just need a job, any job. But you will gain more and more control over your own career and the positions you choose. As you join these organizations that will become a part of your daily life, ask yourself, do I believe in the purpose of this organization? Do the people here live their purpose daily? Do I want to commit my time, abilities, and heart to this work? When your answer is yes, you will know you are in the right place. As I end, I would like to thank you for giving me the privilege of serving you and the Jepson School for the past 20 years. It has been such a joyous purpose in my life. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Tom Wren, and I want to add my congratulations to the Jepson class of 2012. I'm honored to speak to you today. I'm particularly privileged to share the podium today with Gill Hickman. Gill and I came to the Jepson School before it opened more than 20 years ago. And for each of us, this will be our last commencement. It's quite moving for me to have this opportunity to address Jepson students one last time. It is an interesting juxtaposition for me to contemplate the end of my career, just as you members of the class of 2012 embark on the beginning of yours. This juxtaposition got me thinking over the past few weeks about the nature of beginnings and endings. And some of those I would like to share with you today. I have 3 sets of reflections on that. And my first reflection on beginnings and endings is to think about what has brought us into this space today. That is, of course, the Jepson educational experience. Regarding beginnings, let me tell you something about the nature of the educational experience that you have just completed and what are the faculty's expectations of you. When the Jepson School was created, we identified a set of challenges and set out to address them. The first challenge was the seemingly ubiquitous claim that there was a need for leadership in it. And the almost as ubiquitous acknowledgement that this desired leadership was lacking. The second challenge had to do with how higher education was dealing with that lack or failure of leadership. All of our original faculty and everybody who's come to the school since came to the school with a deep commitment to the value of an education in the liberal arts. It was and is the absolutely best pathway to creating individuals who can think for themselves, deal with the ambiguities of life, and come to understand and appreciate those people and ideas that are different from our own. Despite these unquestioned virtues, one claim from liberal arts education seemed to be wanting. If you were to look at the catalogs of any liberal arts school or college or university, including the University of Richmond, you would find the rhetoric about how this education creates citizens and leaders. And to be fair, it does after a fashion. After all, most of our greatest contributors to society over the years have been steeped in liberal arts education. The problem that we saw is that there was nothing in the traditional arts curriculum that consciously attempted to link the many aspects of the curriculum to notions of citizenship and leadership. The Jepson School was in part an experiment to try to remedy this. So let me say how we went about it. All of you are familiar with the Jepson curriculum. You've just completed it. What you may be less aware of is the integrated and holistic structure of that curriculum. For you and for the benefit of your parents and family, let me say a few words about how the many courses that you've taken over the years fit into a positive whole, a whole that we hope prepares you to become better leaders and citizens. You began and ended your study here grappling with exactly what we mean by the term leadership. The answers are many, and each of you probably has a slightly different take on it. But I can say with confidence that each of you has moved far beyond simplistic notions of a larger-than-life figure directing passive followers. Gill just talked a little bit about the elements of that definition that we all share. The important part of that definition is that leadership is an inherent part of the human condition. It happens all the time. Anytime humans get together to try to accomplish something, this process we call leadership takes place. It is ubiquitous, and to participate in it most effectively, you have to learn something about that human condition, which brings us back to the liberal arts and the nature of the Jepson education. Joanne Chula calls it liberal arts with a purpose, which simply means that we strive to link our broad understandings to an ability to translate those understandings into bettering that human condition through leadership. Our courses reflect this. So let's see briefly how we how we use the liberal arts to understand leadership. Perhaps the first course you took was 101, which amounts to the intellectual exploration of the concepts that form the basis for leadership. The rest of the curriculum can be thought of in terms of clusters. One cluster of courses in the Jepson curriculum is grounded in the humanities. The study of the humanities helps us to explore that human condition I talked about. Courses in history provide sophisticated case studies in leadership and explore the complexities of context and how it creates opportunities and limitations for action. Courses with a focus on religion reveal the power of meaning in our lives, and the exploration of literature does what great literature always does. It explores the depths and triumphs of the human experience. In each of these, we try to link our understandings to leadership. A parallel cluster of courses are set in the social sciences. In them, we learned about the modern theories and models of leadership, gained a window into the psychology of leaders and followers, came to understand the functioning of groups, and explored how leadership plays out in our political and social institutions. Now, paired with these clusters of knowledge courses are several that are designed to hone your skills for a more productive participation in the leadership process. That is, to become better citizens. Chief among these is one on critical thinking, which is probably the single most important ability that you must possess, if you are to make wise choices and avoid being dangerously misled. You've also taken courses that focus on more specific skills, like leading groups, conflict resolution, and they are all honed and applied in a required internship. But the Jepson School is not content even with this broad array of courses. We also want to produce citizens and leaders who are capable of moral reasoning, ones who can perceive and apply ethical standards to your own conduct and that of others. You have, of course, all taken a course in ethics. In addition, our course on justice and civil society asks you to consider our obligations to each other and to populations in need. Courses in international context allow us to understand those who are different from us. So this summary of this curriculum, this holistic curriculum, I hope has given you a sense of the method behind our madness, all these courses you took. So that was the beginnings. Now let me consider endings. You, of course, represent such an ending. The question we must ask ourselves is, have we succeeded with this 20 years worth of effort? Have we created individuals who are prepared to be better citizens and leaders? This ending, this graduation ceremony, is our answer. As I look around this room at the graduating seniors, and so many of you I know personally, the answer is a resounding yes. There is no question that you will become citizens and leaders. And in fact, I'm willing to stack this group up against any graduating class anywhere in the country or the world. With your indulgence, I'll begin my second reflection on beginnings and endings on a personal note. A couple of months ago, my sister passed away, leaving me the last one standing of my generation and the one that went before me. That got me thinking a great deal about family. The obvious conclusion is how important it is. If you graduates think about it, and if you will look around those who are immediately sitting next to you, you will see loved ones who have supported you, propped you up when you needed it, been your biggest cheerleaders, and most receptive audience for your achievements. I had a grandmother who used to say, "Give flowers to the living." By that she meant we should tell our loved ones what they mean to us while we can. I hope that each one of you, before the family disperses again this weekend, takes time and finds time to individually say a few words to each member of your family that has come to celebrate with you. The notion of family also has a lot of resonance for me as I think about the Jepson School. We too are a family, made up of students and faculty and staff. We know each other, we care for each other, we share one's triumphs and disappointments. We as a Jepson family are extraordinarily proud of you today. Another thing about family, you can never leave it. And so it is with the Jepson School. Although you will no longer walk our halls, you will always be in our hearts and a part of the great and growing Jepson nation. As you start your own beginning as Jepson alumni, please keep in touch with us as we follow your careers with pride. My concluding reflection about beginnings and endings focuses more closely on this weekend that we are experiencing now. Today is finale. Not long ago, you attended a ceremony we call Prelude that introduced you to the Jepson experience. There you signed the roster, got your t-shirt, and heard students and faculty and administrators tell you about the amazing experience you had in store. Today with finale, we have come full circle and look back on that experience and celebrate your achievements. But there's a funny thing about finale. It is followed the next day by a ceremony called commencement. To commence, of course, is to begin, and that is most appropriate because tomorrow you begin the next stage of your life. As you do so, know that we are proud of you, that we wish you well, and that we will feel a sense of fulfillment as we watch you fill those spinning ranks of leadership. Congratulations again, and thank you very much.
So I must speak without them. It's now my very great pleasure to award one more award that we don't give every year. It's called the Jepson School Award for Leadership and Service. This year, you will have learned through the remarks you've heard, we are going to see, we have celebrated one retirement, that of Gill Hickman, and soon we'll celebrate the career of Thomas Wren. So they will leave a great void in the Jepson School as we think about moving forward. They've been tremendously important to our students and our faculty. We have an award at the school which we call the Jepson Award for Leadership and Service. And this year, the faculty and I thought that it would be most appropriate to give that award jointly to Dr. Hickman and Dr. Wren. Could you please come forward? Twins. You can see why. I don't think I need to make any remarks about just why, although I did have some prepared. I don't know quite where they are, but just why they deserve that award. They've been so important in the founding of the school. They've been voices of reason for the last 20 years. They've created courses where no courses existed. They've written textbooks that people across the country and outside the country use when they teach leadership studies. And so they are most deserving of this award. I now stand between you and a reception. Once again, I did have some remarks prepared. I was going to quote John Stuart Mill, but I think you've had all the uplifting remarks that you need. I always quote John Stuart Mill. All of the uplifting remarks that you need. So let me just invite you to join us, the faculty and staff, and enjoy speaking with each other. And congratulations one more time to the tremendous class of 2012.